My childhood Lego collection hasn't seen the light of day since the turn of the new millennium, so I thought I'd take it down from the attic and see if I could reassemble each set that was, one by one, consumed by the box. First thing I had to do was sift through the plastic detritus and pluck out any minifigs, since they're the best way to narrow down what sets are actually mixed up in there. It was also a good opportunity to remove any non-Lego toxins floating around in there and get everything sorted into clear boxes for streamlined rummage maxing. Unfortunately, there were a few broken pieces, but on the whole, lovely. Speaking of which, they could do with a wash. 20 years of attic musk can't be good. I mean, who knows how many evil spirits these blocks have absorbed. But hey, nothing a little warm water and fairy liquid can't shift. 4 out of every 5 exorcists swear by it. The first thing I did was get all this muck in the sink, and I'll tell you right now, I filmed way too much coverage of the washing and drying process, so I'll take this opportunity to tell you about my personal history with the beloved interlinking brick system. Lego. I was a big fan throughout the 90s, my interest peaking with the most laser targeted to my tastes line, UFO, being released. How could I resist? Even now, these images are firing up all my hell yeah neurons. But as the year 2000 approached, my dedication waned. The first seeds of discontent were sown by the release of the Time Cruisers line. I mean, geez, they're just sticking random bits together? They must be running out of ideas in Denmark. They think we're idiots. And then you have the advent of the major IP tie-ins, which I just couldn't get on board with. I was a great believer in the box of Lego. You'd have your new set, which was separate for a while, but in the end it would go into the box so it could be reborn as your own damned multicolored creation. Lawless times. But it's one thing to mix your pirates with your knights, and quite another to drop Jar Jar Binks in there. For better, for worse, Jar Jar Binks will always be Jar Jar Binks. If I built a race car and put Jar Jar Binks in it, that's Jar Jar Binks in a race car, you know? At that point, I'm no longer creating my own worlds. In fact, I start owing George Lucas royalties. And don't give me that, there was a Shell Garage set released in 1826. You know, that's a far cry from having Daniel Radcliffe's human face on a box with a Lego Hagrid in it, alright? It was clear to me that this whole Lego thing was winding down. They were on their last legs. Desperate. Pitiful. So I took a principled stance against these sellouts and walked away. Besides, it was time to grow up, listen to Korn's second album and watch Dave England shit in a van. Culture itself had won. Now imagine my surprise when I discovered Lego was still going today without me. They even had themselves a little convention to rub my nose in their continued success. And it looks like they're still in bed with all the biggest and trendiest intellectual properties, such as Zulu. And in fairness, the kids today just fucking love Zulu. You talk to any teachers and they'll tell you the playgrounds are full of kids wearing Zulu hoodies, fighting over Zulu trading cards. If there wasn't Battle of Zulu Lego, everyone would be asking, where's the Battle of Zulu Lego? There was lots of impressive stuff at the convention, which started to make me worry that my humble attic Lego might be a little too humble, dare I say, boring. But then I saw old sets that were housed in cubes of bulletproof glass, so someone out there cares about Lego from 1996. Besides, look at my channel. This is not my lowest bar. And I'll be going lower. Patreon.com/infinite review. First things first. I had to figure out what I actually had. I knew there was a police station and a train set in here, so I started by putting those aside. I'd never used Bricklink before, but I was amazed at how vast a resource it was. Tracking down a unique piece number on there could narrow the possibilities down to 2 or 3 sets in no time. And I even found what set this torso belonged to with Brickignize, a site that identifies your Lego based on photos you upload. It was actually nice to briefly feel reminded that the internet isn't just a place for making your life worse. Now, look, I know you want to crack little Owen's head open for having a police set, but before you bring that baseball bat down on that child's head, look again. And you'll see that there's some quite subversive satire going on here. The messaging is that it takes 7 cops with a motorbike, squad car, helicopter and command center to catch one jaywalker and put him behind bars. Command Post Central came together better than expected, though I was missing the bike and 1 or 2 little bits, but that's okay, and definitely not a portent of some kind. On to the cargo train, which was my pride and joy. And it's still a beautiful set. That colour scheme, the little bunk beds, the bank boxes that contain enough dosh to cover 1/4 of the price of a large Lego set today. Highly, highly covetable. Which only makes it sadder that I no longer have the control unit that makes it run, forcing me to push the train by hand in order to see it in motion. Absolutely pathetic. I won't blame you if you choose to look away. And things only got worse from there. Some sets would come together half decently, in the sense that only half their pieces were missing, and others, well... I was happy to see the Nebula Outpost almost entirely come together despite the constant interruptions from hoodlums. And I was once again blown away by this red-blue tech, which still baffles scientists today. This m-tron nose told me I must be missing an m-tron pilot, but as luck would have it, m-tron minifigs were back in these blind boxes, which are ideal for parents who want to know just how predisposed their children are to having a gambling addiction. There are 12 different figures in the set, so mathematically it's impossible to know the odds. After 2 fruitless unboxings, I knew I couldn't waste any more money, so I took advantage of the weak yen, flew to Japan and bought the boxes cheaper there. And still, the m-tron pilot minifigure eluded me. What a waste of time. Who cares though? I've still got a Lego Ghost, a Lego Moon Buggy, and best of all, Basil the Batlord, who is sadly missing his cape and did need some blue tack removed from his helmet. But we've all been there. It did sting to discover that most of my precious UFO Lego is nowhere to be found, and this is all that remains of the Radon rover, whose days of roving radon are long over. Now, this ice cream flavoured base plate is a funny one because I got it from a cousin's house where they were getting rid of some old toys, and I asked if I could have this. I'll always remember my uncle saying, "Quite a fruity boy you've got there," to my parents, who didn't provide much in the way of a counter-argument. At this point, I'd ran into a problem. Any part I had unique enough to be a good lead only showed me sets I knew I didn't have, and everything else was too generic a piece to lead me anywhere. The dream of ending the video with every brick used, each set restored to its former glory, was dead. At this rate, the video was going to end with Richie, which is exactly what I was hoping to avoid. It is sad that there's not a single set here, big or small, that is 100% complete, but at least that tells me the Lego was played with instead of simply treasured and protected. I've got bits of what must have been friends' Lego, and they no doubt ended up with some of mine, and that's nice. In fact, I'm going to return to my roots and use these leftover scraps to make my own thing. And there you go. The past and the future come together to form this very contemporary home. And a car that not only gets you from A to B, but exists at both A and B at the same time. Outside, Mystic Meg predicts your death, brought on by the house's heavy-handed yet reliable security system. You can also open up the walls to reveal a dungeon full of junk, or simply rotate a woman. Oh god, what a mess. The time cruisers really are having the last laugh, aren't they? Right, forget what I said earlier. I was completely wrong. Keep your Lego separate. Don't let it mix. Keep it to yourself and support major IPs wherever you can. Holy shit, this comes with a Dennis Nedry.
There we go.
They're expensive police lights.
That's how they charge the robots, on a big rotor.
So 3 days like that and then they're ready to
go.
Make a cup of tea for you.
Yeah.
Richie, what is the in-universe explanation for Data's power source?
That's an excellent question I don't have the answer to, I'm afraid. I was like, maybe he has a nuclear power source, but no.
It fucking trips over. Takes out the saucer section. Richie, what do you think about the cap this kid's wearing?
Oh, it's very good, isn't it?
That's the kind of cap that makes a dragon say, "See you."
Yeah.
See you.